Hi, I'm Rebecca, and you are going to disagree with at least one thing I say in this video. I just finished filming, and I left a couple things out at the beginning of this video. So first, I wanted to commenter shout out, here we go, James, thank you so much for following me. Super cool fellow believer, often comments on my videos and always has something cool to say. And he's also my first patron on Patreon. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate your support. It's honestly really horrible timing that like this video is about like racism and owning up to my past, but it's also a very casual kind of chit-chatty, rambly video. It's not like a sit-down like apology. I mean, I apologize, but whatever. Anyway, I wasn't sure if I was gonna shout it out, but like, honey, we're unemployed in a pandemic. I'm having horrible luck with getting a job. This is my only attempt at an income, so please, if you want to help support me and you want to support my channel and help provide me with finances not only to eat, but also to eventually, if enough people support me, to make more better content about things like this, about anti-racism, about feminism, social justice of any kind, like, please support me, and I would love to keep spreading that message even better. I'm sorry. If I literally had an income, I would choose not to mention any money stuff in this video, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at. I'm sorry. I keep doing the, I'm afraid that everyone's gonna think I'm like some alt-right neo-Nazi or something. I'm sorry, I do this a lot. Ugh. Now let's get into how I used to be a little racist prat. We're cleaning today, guys. We're organizing, we're sorting, we're getting rid of my crap. I'm sick of it. This is what we're working with. Why am I doing it on camera while I talk about some relatively heavy topics? I'm sick of being ashamed of my hoarding, and I want to talk about things while I overcome it on camera because it's not something to be hidden. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to use as a testimony to show what I can overcome. So it's time to start really finally overcoming it. This is what I'm living in all the time. It's out in the open now. You guys know it's not a secret. I am struggling. Now you know. I'm already stumped. Do I keep the box for this, or do I just keep... No, I don't keep the box. What I do is I keep the things that I need from the box and throw the box away. I'm gonna need a trash bag. We got a trash bag, we got water to hydrate because I had nachos for breakfast, so we're at least gonna hydrate. All right, let's get into the actual stuff I want to talk about, which is I used to be really racist, in case you didn't know. I didn't realize how racist I was, and the more I learn about anti-racism, the more I'm like, wow, I was so far from God, so lost. The jokes about like white people being like, I don't experience it, so it's not real. Like, it's not even a meme, it's not even a joke, it's not even a parody, it's just reality. Like, that's just what privilege does to you. Like, if you're a privileged person and you don't have someone to tell you what the heck is up, you're just gonna be a dick. Basically, you're gonna be one. You won't mean to be one, but you're going to be one. I mean, honestly, is there a way to get like a privileged teenage white kid to listen to their parents more? Like, I guess that's why you should start teaching your kids anti-racism early, probably. I mean, hold on. That's what I plan on doing. Because like, if you wait until they're teenagers to have family-friendly versions of these discussions about like sexism and racism and like the bad stuff in the world, like by the time you think they're old enough to listen to you, they aren't gonna want to listen to you because they're gonna be like 16 being a teenager. They're gonna think that they know everything and they're just not gonna want to talk to you about it. I guarantee you that this is probably problematic because I remember lots of big boobed bimbos in this comic, but childhood, good stuff. Wow, I wrote in this diary for a minute. Yo, that's pretty cool. See, this is how I get distracted. Something I doodled while lit at my going away party to move here to Santa Fe. Don't remember that in the slightest. Anyways, used to be super racist. Don't get me wrong, like I wasn't buying into like the ethnic replacement narrative or anything, but if you want more details on like what my experience falling down the alt-right pipeline was like, I would suggest you go click this video. This is my other video that I made on it. Still gets surprisingly good views. It's kind of interesting. One thing that I do want to focus on in this video and definitely own up to is the fact that I used to say the N-word all the time. I used to say it casually. This doesn't even matter, and I feel so cringy even mentioning this, but you know, a lot of people make the distinction between whether it ends in an A or an ER. It doesn't matter, it's still a slur, no matter how you spell it. I was using it with an A at the end, whatever. I would use it the way a lot of people do, where it's like dude or bro, except it's a slur. So it's not like those, but I used it like it was a word like that. I want to get into that. I want to get into the mindset that led to that. well, first I want to say sorry. I'm sorry that I was ever so ignorant and dumb to use that word. I'm sorry to every single Black person watching this. Even if you were never affected by it and this is your first time hearing about it, I don't care. I'm sorry, because I perpetuated a system by using that word I perpetuated the normalization of using that word in any context, in racist or non-racist context, which, you know, it's racist regardless of intent is the point, and we'll get into that. But like, it doesn't matter that I wasn't trying to be racist by using that racial slur all the time. No justification. Like, all my justifications were stupid excuses, self-centered, and I feel really bad, and I'm really sorry that I was so dumb. It's not justifiable, and that's part of the reason that I'm so committed to anti-racism now, to justice for, you know, gay people, trans people, women, whatever, everybody. I've been an and so I want to help other people learn that they don't have to be basically. So that's kind of why I talk about this stuff so much, because I literally used to perpetuate it. Decorations, I'm just going to throw in here. This is from my Papos's funeral. Can't believe I haven't hung it up yet, honestly. We've lived in this apartment for several months now. We moved in right before the pandemic hit, so just haven't gone through any of my stuff after moving. Nostalgia tees. How do we feel about nostalgia tees? This was a bad year for our marching band, but I loved marching band. Am I gonna wear this? It does spark joy in me though. Like, I don't watch Marie Kondo. All I know is that she said if it don't spark joy, get rid of it. This sparks joy in me. Honestly, I would love to take a bunch of nostalgia tees that I don't wear and just like sew them into a blanket. So maybe put them with decorations? Am I ever going to make a blanket out of these band tees? No, I don't think so, but every time I look at them, it makes me feel happy and reminds me of marching band. Would I still have those memories if I didn't have these shirts? Yes, but I don't know. This is cute. This is my old work shirt. I'll wear this. So, saying the N-word. Why did my arrogant little teenage patootie think it was okay for me, a white woman, to say the N-word? Well, first off, I lived in Arizona. If you don't know, Arizona's the Florida of the Southwest. So that's where I grew up most of my life. I left Arizona right after Trump got elected, so I didn't see the full de-evolution into like pro-Trump, anti-mask garbage town that apparently it's turned into. Yeah, that basically tells you what you need to know about growing up in Arizona as a white kid in Scottsdale. Like the poor side of Scottsdale, but like Scottsdale. Me and all my friends, regardless of race, would all make racist jokes about each other. But specifically my brown friends, also including David, who I love so dearly, and I stole this shirt from years ago. David, if you're watching this, I'm sorry that we made so many racist Mexican jokes at your expense. Like, I get that you were in on it. I get we were all laughing. It's still a bad culture, and I wish that I had been a better friend to you and been like, we don't have to laugh at the fact that you're Mexican. I love you for who you are, because that's how I truly feel, David. And, you know, you grew up in Arizona and Scottsdale too, so, you know, we were all brainwashed into it, but I'm sorry, David. You know, and on the misogynistic side of it, just kind of a fun little side note here, like, we would also all make big jokes. We would also make jokes about my big boobs, because I used to have big boobs, because I grew up chubby. I was kind of the butt of the joke in a misogynistic way, so Arizona basically is just not a good place. Don't raise your children in Arizona, just don't. So, you know, you live in a culture that kind of normalizes that behavior, and then, you know, I grew up as the internet was just beginning to blossom. YouTube had just become a thing when I was like 10. That's when I started watching Shane Dawson and Onision, which also tells you a lot of what you need to know if you are part of the YouTube community at all. You know, as a kid, and I talked about this in my Confessions of a Shane Dawson fan video, you know, as a kid, you're still developing your personality, you're still developing a sense of humor. You don't inherently know what is and isn't funny yet. You learn what's funny by seeing how people older than you, people that you look up to, what do they laugh at? What do the people around you laugh at? I was still learning what was funny watching people make, I hesitate to even call them jokes, make a mockery of child predation and abuse, make a mockery of black people, brown people, non-white people. Non-white people as a whole. I had these people that I looked up to, these sort of role models. I kind of idolized them in a way. I had crushes on these guys, and they were just completely normalizing, making jokes about every bad thing, and making everybody other than white people the butt of the joke. And I became sort of like that. I would, like, you know, like, draw swastikas because it's funny and edgy, because, get it, you're not supposed to. I'm a comedian, hi. You know, I was like, everyone deserves equal rights. I marched with Black Lives Matter while being a huge fan of, like, PewDiePie, and, you know, I do still watch his content sometimes, but the more I watch him, the more he just seems to dig himself into this hole of, like, woke centrism, low-key misogyny, like acknowledging vegan ethics but then never going vegan. I don't know, like, it's just kind of annoying at this point. I know they were jokes, but like they weren't very funny in retrospect, like at all. The only reason I still want to keep this is because there's beach sand in it, and I miss the beach. Doesn't even smell like the beach anymore. Trash. So pretty. Yeah. So when I used to be a teenage white girl using the N-word, if someone criticized me, my first response would be, well, I'm using it as a term of endearment in order to take power away from that word as being used as a slur, instead using it as like something you would call someone you like, something you would call a friend, something, like I said, a term of endearment, except it's mostly been used as a hateful slur, and me, a white person, and when historically white people are the ones who were using it as a slur in the first place, how does me using it as a term of endearment take the power away? It's a very surface level, loose, not thought through argument. That was like my go-to response, and I thought I was owning all the libs. Very cringy. I thought it was so woke, and obviously it wasn't. If that's not obvious to you though, because I know that's not obvious to everybody, that's fine, let me explain. Now, I'm not arguing for mandatory language policing. What I'm arguing for is for people to educate themselves and allow themselves to be educated by others in order to make a compassionate, logical choice. Oh, it still has beach sand. I miss the beach! Hi, I just woke up. I'm editing this video, and I woke up from a dream where I was at the beach. Literally every dream, I'm at the beach now. Like, in my dream, I was like, I'll see you next time I'm at the beach, because I'm at the beach so often when I'm sleeping. I miss the beach. So, if I was talking to, like, 18-year-old me today using the N-word, what I would say to her is there are millions of black people, I mean black Americans, who don't like that word, who don't want anyone to use that word, regardless of whether they're black or not, who feel pain when they hear anyone, regardless of if they're black or not, use that word. They feel the pain of what was done to their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, and their great-great-grandparents. It's triggering. It brings up a trauma that still hasn't been healed. A centuries-old trauma that still hasn't been healed, and that most white Americans aren't interested in making any effort to heal, but they're also interested in using a slur against black people because it's what the cool people do, aka the black people do. So we want to fetishize and idolize black Americans but not treat them with dignity or respect. Got it? Cool. You know, in the face of those millions of black Americans, like, what is your response to that? What is your response to that? And again, I'm talking to past me here, and I don't think I would have been able to come up with a response to that, because to this day I still can't, which is why I don't use that word anymore, because once I realized that I was perpetuating a culture that harms many, many black people, like, just because some black people don't care doesn't mean that other black people don't care either. It's not just all black people are cool with it as long as it's a black person saying it. No, there are tons of black people who choose not to say it at all and think that it's a word that should just be left in the past. And I don't even think whether or not people should be able to use this slur in such a casual way, I don't think that conversation should even be had at all until effort has been put forward to heal the damage of slavery, of segregation. I don't even want to say out loud what was done to black people by white colonizers, like, for hundreds of years. Like, I don't even want to say it out loud because it's so abhorrent, evil, disgusting, influenced, inspired by, pushed by Satan. Like, it's the purest of evils. I have nothing to say in response to, I'm gonna use this word even though it hurts millions of black people when anyone uses it because I want to. Like, there's no answer. There's no good answer. There's no answer that isn't completely self-centered. Because ultimately, why was I really using the N-word? Because, one, it was popular. I'm having to think. I think the only other reason that I can think of is because deep down I knew that being wrong about this was going to make me wrong about a lot of other things, and it was gonna take a lot of work on my part to be introspective, to be humble, and to change. Our culture does not glorify humility. It does not glorify being wrong. Admitting that you're wrong is not glorified either. Like, continual growth, skeptical thinking. Hi, I meant critical thinking, because skeptical thinking is very much encouraged. Critical thinking, where you study and make sure that your skepticism is justified in fact, not so much encouraged. Our culture doesn't glorify the character traits that it takes to introspect, acknowledge racism, and implicit biases, you know, ways that we were brainwashed to behave from childhood, honestly. Like, it doesn't even have to be a blow to your ego when you really think about it. It's a criticism of, for the most part, the society that we live in that brainwashes people to behave this way. But, like, our society doesn't encourage those behaviors, and honestly, I do wonder if that's some sort of, like, low-key conspiracy. I am a bit of a conspiracy theorist. You know, I got these, but I've literally never used them. And part of me is like, I need to keep these and I need to actually use them, when what I should really do is get rid of them. Because I've owned them for years and never used them. Do these spark joy? No, I'm getting rid of them. You know, this wasn't originally gonna be in this video. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I just have it in my heart right now. I feel like I want to talk about it now. Why is it so hard to advocate for anti-racism in white circles? Why, for so long, have I felt nervous to disrupt the negative peace when family members are blatantly racist and openly using slurs and laughing about it? Like, why is it so hard as a white person even, I mean, let alone being a person of color, but why is it so hard as a fellow white person to speak out against these issues? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be hard. It should be really common sense. It shouldn't scare people who claim to be not racist because they, don't advocate for genocide or something that makes you not racist? I don't know. Why is it so scary? It shouldn't be so hard, like at a family dinner where someone makes a really tasteless, crude, offensive, racist joke or something, or sexist joke, whatever. It shouldn't be scary or hard to be like, That's not cool. It shouldn't be uncomfortable for us to all be decent people. So why is it? Why are we all trash? We're getting into some deep questions here that I don't even know how to answer, but I'm still thinking about it. I still want to talk about it. Shouldn't feminists want to be called out for racism? I mean, if you're intersectional at all, like, you would think you would want to be. Like, shouldn't white allies to the queer community or, you know, racial minorities, like, shouldn't they want to be called out? Kind of coming for the throat of the white lib fem here, which is white liberal feminist, if you don't know. I forget that not everyone knows all these little slang terms, but like, shouldn't you want to have your biases and your flaws pointed out? Don't we want to grow as people? Is that not what we want? Like, are we all just pretending to be on the right side of history so we can feel better about ourselves at night? Like, don't get me wrong, that's a motivating factor. I want to be able to sleep at night and live with myself. Like, yeah, I want to be a good person, and that's part of the reason why. But I mean, shoot, like, that's not the only motivator. Like, you're just gonna end up doing the bare minimum so that you can sleep at night. I don't know. It worries me. It should not be this hard to talk to people about it. And you know, honestly, I think part of it is just me being afraid too. Let's not put all the blame on other people, okay? Like, a lot of it, like, goes over way better than you would think when you just stop listening to that fear and insecurity and just actually speak up. Like, I've been getting a lot of practice on my Discord with my friends because you know how young men are these days. They're very woke center. You know, gamer culture, like, they use the anti-gay F slur, the N word. If I don't say it, I don't think people are gonna know what word I'm talking about. So, like, they say beaner. I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care if you're Hispanic. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're black. Like, I don't care if it's a slur that affects your community. Personally, I believe that we should just not use slurs. However, I'm not going to police the way people use slurs towards their own community because it's this really weird, nuanced area where it's not... I feel like it's overstepping. Like, if I were to go around telling every black person who uses the N-word, you can't say that, you can't say that, like, the reason the N-word is bad is because it affects black people. And so to police black people on how they use a slur towards them just seems like overstepping. It's like the other day on YouTube in the comments on some video, this guy said that he was like a fellow feminist, but that I shouldn't identify as a radical feminist because it makes feminism look bad. And I was like, well, with all due respect, I didn't ask for your opinion, I didn't ask for your advice, so for you to unsolicitedly, like, kind of tone and language police me as a woman in feminism, it seems really weird to me. Like, I identify with the truth and accuracy. I am radical. I am a feminist. I am a radical feminist, just like I'm a radical left-wing anarchist. Like, you want me to lie so that way we look more visually appealing to misogynists? How about no? How about no? So, like, I mean, he was chill, and I wasn't a complete him, but it was kind of cringy, like, seeing a man who thinks he's such an ally language policing of a feminist, a female woman feminist. It's like, it really makes me think of, like, white people, this white moderate who's like, I support Black Lives Matter, but we can't defund the police. I support Black Lives Matter, but we can't defund the police. I support Black Lives Matter, but what about the mom and pop shops? I support Black Lives Matter, but I don't agree with anything that Black Lives Matter advocates for. Hi, I'm a white moderate. They're very similar. They're very similar. How did I get on this tangent? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I've been getting a lot of good practice standing up for what's right and not being afraid of what people are gonna say about it, and, you know, and doing it in a firm but respectful way. Like, when I'm gaming with the bros or whatever, and one of them drops the F slur, or even just strangers. Even if it's just strangers that I'm playing with, like on Valorant or something that I don't know. Like, if I hear a slur, I'm gonna be like, wow, are we really children using slurs? Like, can we not? That's not how I say it. I'll more say something like, Hey, can we not use slurs, please? Can we not use bigoted slurs? Thanks. Honestly, when you say it so bluntly like that, it's hard for a decent person to argue. When you're just like, hey, can we not use bigoted offensive slurs? Thanks. Kind of shuts things down these days. And it may sound harsh to some of you woke centrists out there watching, but it's firm but respectful. I'm not saying anything untrue. I'm not insulting the person or accusing them of being a bigot. I'm just saying, can we not use bigoted slurs? I could get another candle to put in this. Honestly, I really do like having one candle bottle for decoration. I do love having a candle bottle. I will save this one candle, and then if I have room for it, I'll keep it. See this little purse? Am I ever gonna use this little purse? It's so cute. This is a great little purse. It's not my fashion style at all, but it's a cute little purse, and I wanna keep it. I don't know if I've ever used it more than like once or twice. We're getting rid of it. Oh, nice, lip balm, heck yeah. Year-old lip balm for my vacation to California last year. I'll take it. I know this video was kind of all over the place. Hope you found it interesting though. Hope you found it entertaining. I'm gonna keep going through my stuff here because there's plenty more to go through. Look at this. I am keeping this. One Christmas when I still celebrated Christmas as a kid, my dad got me a bunch of like old school wooden toys, and honestly they were effing fire. They were effing fire! Looks like I still got it too. 5 points. Hey, let's go for the 20. Bruh. This is way easier than I remember it being. I guess I just practiced a lot and it kind of stayed. Look, I did 10 on the first try too. That is so funny. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like, go ahead and leave a like. If you dislike, go ahead and leave a dislike. Leave a comment if you want to be shout out in my next video. Check out my Patreon and my merch if you feel like supporting me. Patreon especially if you feel like getting some free merch. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.